It took so long for Dokkan to add SSJ4 Daima Goku into the game in any shape or form, and it's amazing that they finally have. Now the question that is on everyone's minds right now is who the Part 2 LR is going to be. And we'll get to who the Part 2 LR could be later on in the video, but you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you are picking up exactly what I'm putting down, starting with the fact that the SSJ4 Daima Mini Goku banner is lasting a little bit longer than typical Dokkanfest banners do, which it does. That's a fair point. Typically, November is a dry month for Dokkan. It's one of the slower periods, especially since the Dragon Ball Heroes banners were removed. Of course, this year we do have the novelty of the manga units, which I wonder if potentially, I know it's for the 40th anniversary, could we maybe see a return to the manga units in years to come? I personally don't think so. I'd like them to revisit it, but I do think it's just kind of a one-off for the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball. Regardless, I do think it's a very sick idea. But also, with November being so dry and us finally getting Daima added to the game, or at least one of the more hyper and peakest moments from Daima, of course being SSJ4 Mini Goku, the Part 2 LR is going to be on a similar wavelength of something almost or just as hype. Because the Part 2 LR is looking to drop in literally a week's time, not even a week's time. We're talking at this point in 10 days. It's looking like the Part 2 LR banner itself will drop on the exact same day that SSJ4 Mini Goku did, on the 13th of this month, around a similar time, suggesting something, as I said, on a similar type of hype length. A lot of people are leaning towards adult SSJ3 Daima Vegeta, and while I would love that to be the case, because of course it's my boy Jeets, and I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it if it did happen, I don't think it will be, even though I'm fully here for it regardless, and that is because one of two things. A lot of people, while of course not confirmed, take all of this with a pinch of salt, that during the anniversary time, round about this time here in Dokkan, where we're going to get the 11th anniversary, a lot of people, including myself, are speculating, even for just one part of the anniversary, we are going to be getting SSJ4 Adult Daima Goku. Which, if that is the case, this of course doesn't guarantee Vegeta to follow suit. However, I think potentially if we do see that, Adult SSJ3 Daima Vegeta could be coming for the 11th anniversary as well. Or, if we aren't getting them for the 11th anniversary, we could potentially see them as the dual Dokkanfest near Christmas going into the new year. Which of course we've seen them do before. It doesn't follow suit or follow trend of being one extreme, one superclass. We've seen it with Beast. We've seen it with Orange Piccolo, or should I say Beastless. And I think if they're not coming from the anniversary, they're more than likely going to drop them both during the December period near Christmas, going into the new year as the New Year Dual Dokkanfest, which leaves one character and one character only, which is Goma. I've heard some shouts for Do and Ku, and while I do really want to see both of them in the game, or even as a reversible exchange, I don't think Dokkan is going to be dropping them as an LR anytime soon, if I'm being really honest. And I think Goma is just the perfect fit. You know, it was SSJ4 Goku versus Goma in the anime. It was primarily SSJ4 Mini Goku versus Goma, until of course he becomes an adult again. And as I said, it just works out as the perfect fit, and continues on that Daima hype train to drop another Daima unit if we're going to see adult SSJ4 Goku and adult SSJ3 Vegeta, either as the New Year's Dual Dokkanfest, or, which everyone is speculating, for the 11th anniversary. Now would be the perfect time to drop him. Not only would he continue to buff categories that SSJ4 Mini Goku leads, but he'll also buff the extreme side of things, which is also great, and I would love to see him added to the game, and some more extreme unit treatment that we've been seeing from the last year and a half that Dokkan has done so well with. You know, we've seen the trend of Dokkan dropping Part 2 LRs that buff the Dokkanfest leads even further. We've seen it with Cell, we've seen it with Pikkon, we've seen it with pretty much every Dokkanfest and Part 2 LR this year, and there's no reason why they can't do the same with a Part 2 LR Goma, especially with the yellow coin LRs this year in the Big 2025 dual leading by 200% leads, which I still think is such an amazing change. It's so sick, and I think the best way they could do this is more than likely Demonic Power and Dragon Ball Seekers, which of course Goku leads both. So I think he'll be a great addition to Demonic Power, which is already growing, especially with Goku himself. And then of course the Easy Ave AGL Kid Gohan. And then not only that as well, any other units that are going to drop as future Easy A's, pending Easy A's, which we've already gone through. There's already some pretty good units on there, and Goma would be another amazing fit, especially if they give him a very good kit as well. And then Dragon Ball Seekers is also further growing, of course, with SSJ4 Mini Goku's lead. But if they weren't to do Dragon Ball Seekers, categories like Full Power, Successors, Battle of Fate are all top-notch shouts, if I do say so myself. So are you picking up what I'm putting down for our Part 2 LR Goma? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Who would you rather see as the Part 2 LR? Goma, SSJ3 Adult Vegeta, Doin Ku, or someone completely different? I think the most likely choice and the most logical choice would be a Goma. I'd also just love to see him in the game. And if you do think he's going to be coming out, do you think he'll start pre-transformation? Do you think he'll start as Giant Goma? Do you think he'll be a transforming unit? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to hear them. Well, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.